start with welcome, welcome, welcome. I don't know if I want to keep doing welcome, welcome, welcome every single time. But that's what it is today. Hey, Nate, welcome to the pod, baby.
Yes.
This is
welcome to the end is.
You can turn it on me. Sigh. Welcome to the end is sigh. Guys, this is this is a great start. You know us for our fantastic starts and finishes and the whole middle section too. They're all fantastic. Yes,
by the way,
I already
I'm Nate.
I was going to say that. I was going to say I already spoiled. I called you
you already
Nate.
Forgot that.
No, I already said you were Nate. I'm Todd. And this is our podcast. If you've never listened before, what an episode to start on. You're psychotic. But maybe you just really like the movie we're going to talk about. But speaking of explaining everything, Nathaniel, what is the essence of this podcast? Why is it called The End Is Sigh? It sounds ominous, and we need new listeners to not think this is about death stories.
But before I get into the explanation, I think you just probably should stick to welcome, welcome, because clearly that just flubbed all over the place.
Have faith in me, right?
All right. Next time you got it, right? You'll switch up.
Yeah, and I'll see how I feel in 2 weeks. Yeah.
You always ask me this, and I feel like it's a trick question. Like, I should know this, but I don't. It's just the name of our pod, and we come on here and do movies and talk about some topics.
Nathaniel, we've explained this way better in the previous 77 episodes.
Bear with me, listeners.
Yeah, he's sick. He's drinking Pedialyte right now. He's sneezing and coughing, and he's tearing at the walls. It's a sight to see on this end. He was blowing right before he got on camera. Just gonna let that linger out there.
Yeah. You wanted that phrase. He was laughing so hard about that. He's like, I gotta fit that in the pod somehow now.
It was good, and I did, and it was totally natural. Yes, well, to wax poetic a little bit more on the End is Sigh, it's a phrase we co-opted from 28 Days Later. The end is nigh. It's a classic. Hey, the end is near. Get ready. Hope you've, said your blessings and all that shit. So the End is Sigh is really just a play on, dude, we're just two guys doing a podcast. We go to work. We do mundane shit. Sometimes people die crossing the road getting hit by vans or something, right? Like, this end could be sigh. It's not usually a Tom Cruise end of Mission Impossible kind of big, burst of action. But anyway, that's it. Now we can avoid going into that much detail for the next 10 at least. But Nate, you did say we review movies on here. Do we do anything else?
So pretty much one episode is movies. You've caught us on the movie portion episode.
Yep.
And then next episode, we're going to take two themes or topics, whatever you want to call it, from that movie, and we'll do some quick Google research on those topics.
We sure will. I try to get a little bit more in depth if it's something I really care about. But yeah, usually it's like your Wikipedias, and we read the articles so you don't have to. Yeah. So you're this episode, Nate, what are we reviewing? It was your pick.
This week is Crazy Stupid Love.
Sure is. It is a bona fide romantic classic now, I think. Though it doesn't get the Valentine's Day play and doesn't get the holiday play, as no one talks about it. But so maybe it falls into
Crazy Stupid Love. It's just all the time.
You're not wrong. And then, so there we go. We'll get into that a little bit later in the episode. But Nate, in the meantime, did you make meaning? Is there anything new on your mind?
I guess the Olympics, that's been going on. That's a pretty big deal, I guess.
That's true. Will the Olympics still be going on when this releases?
I believe so, yeah.
I don't know how long they are. They tend to go longer than I ever think they will.
It's a few weeks, yeah. So recently, I think, as of today, as we're recording this, U.S. women's hockey, they won the gold.
Did they go on... no one scored on them? Shout out?
No, they did not.
Oh, no, that would have been great, because I know they had beat the first teams without getting scored on.
Yeah, the final game was USA versus Canada, and Canada was leading going into the third period, and USA ended up tying at the end of the third period and winning in overtime.
Damn, that's even better than shutting them out.
Yeah.
No offense to our Canadian listeners, of which I can look up the stats, but I don't think there are any. I'm not sure. We love the Canadians, though. They're the better North America right now. But yeah, I the only thing I know about the Olympics, just due to cultural osmosis, is cheating in curling. Whether your finger can touch it at a certain point where it can even touch the granite. I don't think
Canadians.
Did they crush it? I know we're competing pretty good against.
No, but that's the Canadians that have been called out on the finger push.
Oh, you're right. Okay, I'm trying to give you credit over here, and Nate's just chopping you down at the legs. Yeah, I don't think you should be able to touch the granite. Do you think you should be able to touch with your finger at all? Like, why would you be able to do that? I don't see.
I don't think you should at all. But that's the other thing I wanted to bring up is curling.
Yeah,
is so beyond me as far as how the rules work. It's like it should just be as simple as, hey, whatever's in the center, that's the point, right?
Yes.
I don't know how the points work or anything. There's innings where they go through like 9 different innings and play through those. Then there's a tiebreaker inning and all that. Like, there's so much. And then there's the hammer toss, whatever that means. Like, they're like, oh, one team is the hammer, the other team's not. I don't understand any of the rules, but it's really good just background noise of like, don't know what's happening, but I'm here for this.
It's like putting on Bob Ross. It's quality, but you're going to sleep to it. You're going to get the best nap of your life to it.
100%.
Okay, yeah. I don't dislike curling, and I don't think it's not one of those like, oh, it's boring, and like it's just, yeah, I don't get the rules, but it is cool to see when they do nail it like right in the middle. You're like, all right, like the sweeping and the stopper on the other side, like they're hustling, man. They're like, go. I'm like, I don't know, are they controlling this? Is this mostly luck? I don't know what's happening here.
All right, now the other question with that is, obviously you got the sweepers. One of the questions that was brought up as we were watching it was, do you think their house is really clean? You think like they just sweep their floors like crazy?
No, I
or is
think
it one of those like
it's dirty
that's their
as
job?
Hell. Yeah,
they don't want to do it when they're at home.
They left it at the office. Like when I'm like, I would love to write, right? I would love to creatively write, and I get home and I'm like, I log off one laptop to open another one, and I'm like, fuck. I just want to watch somebody else create something. Yeah. I imagine curler. Well, I don't know. It depends on which part of the team you are. I think the pushers are probably clean as hell.
They all change.
Oh, they trade.
From what I've noticed. Yeah, they all toss. They all sweep. It's a team sport, okay? It's not just one person does one thing.
Well, obviously, I can tell that from the actual one push, and I know it's multiple people working at it. This is the most I've talked about curling in my entire life. So,
yeah. Also found out how expensive the stones are to make, which is crazy. It's about $1,000 per stone, and a whole set is $15,000.
That's okay. I was gonna say that's stupid, but granite's expensive, and it's like fine granite, whatever. I think it's a waste of fucking granite. Granite doesn't just grow back. Like we're not, and like but like in a time frame that's not sustainable. They're not this one. Like if curling took off and everybody curled and everybody was making these stones, and granite would just not be back for many millennia, and then we'd be like, oh, now we've got enough granite to cut back in. I know I'm overblowing the scarcity of granite, but I do, when I see the chunks they take to whittle down to these things, I'm like, what the fuck? How many times can you do that realistically? Because they'll take like, even if I do know like if one of the granite, like the stones or whatever, is used too many times, they retire it and then they just get new ones like every single time. That's so much curling stone to go through. It can't be, just repolish one of the fucking ones you used already.
No, this is perfect. So curling's going to take off. It's going to be the next pickleball. It's going to grow in popularity, and we're going to have the market on granite is what we're going to do. So then granite will go up in price while we hold on to it. That's how we get our money.
So you and I have to start investing in granite.
Yes.
All right, I'm not going to front load that money. I don't know where that's coming from, but I think I smell a heist in our future. The great granite heist.
Yeah.
They'll blame the Canadians, so we're good.
Let's see. Some other stuff with the Olympics. Lindsey Vonn, the skier, she went out and
before it started,
raced
right?
with an ACL.
Oh, I thought she didn't compete at all.
She had a ruptured ACL, went and competed, and then fell and injured herself even more.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So that sucks because she's like one of the most highly decorated people at the Winter Olympics, I believe. She's great. And I think everybody thought she was retired, or maybe she was a little bit, but then she came back and it was supposed to be this big comeback and she was like crushing it. And then all of a sudden, I was like, oh, accident. And then she's just out. And it sucks. Luckily, she's already like had her time in the sun, right?
Yeah.
Like she's crushed it and there's no doubting her ability. It just sucks that, you always want to see that comeback story. It's like a Rocky, right? It's like Rocky 7 when you're like, oh, great, he's old, but he's still got it. And not that
So the
Lindsey
question
Voughn's
for you
old,
then,
but
would you go back knowing after you had a injury such as that and you had a chance to compete one last time?
I definitely, because it's one last time. I mean, if you hurt your leg and then you're rich as shit anyway, you can go get surgery or just you just got a cushy life after that and you could potentially win a gold again. Yeah, I'd go compete.
Yeah.
I mean, unless it was like your leg is going to be chopped off and it's going to be a full prosthetic and all these other problems, then maybe I'd weigh those into that. But I think just potentially injuring it more and then just having a longer recovery time is probably worth trying for another Olympics that far into your career.
Yep. And then I guess the other thing I got on that is the ice skating, the guy that did the backflip.
Vincent Boone?
No. That is a singer.
Dude, you should have seen Nate's face. No, like he wasn't playing a game over here.
It's Eli Malanin. Malanin?
I think I saw this clip of him flipping, and it's pretty intense.
So it's the first legal backflip since 98.
What makes an illegal backflip?
It was something, I guess, back in the Olympics where someone did a backflip, but the judges weren't sure how to score it, so they made it an illegal move. So therefore, if you did it, you wouldn't get any points. But then this was the first year now it's legal, so I guess they figured out how to score a backflip, and he's done it twice. The first time was a regular backflip. The second time he did it off of one skate and landed on one skate.
That's insane.
I feel like he's the love child of the guys from Blades of Glory, McElroy and Jimmy.
Oh, God, it's been a long time since I've seen that one. Good movie, though. Wow. I had something on this discussing, let's see here, guys, as I think in real time. Oh, why it was illegal in the first place. So that's like me saying to my boss, nah, you didn't give me all the details. That's illegal. You have to pay me more, or you have to just give me. You have to pay me this just for not doing it because whatever. Like you can't just say I can't do it, so it's not legal. Like that's so weird. I don't even think my analogy worked, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like I can't just say, nah, you can't count it because I don't understand it. That's so weird. Huh? I didn't know that. Look at that. Nate's teaching me all about the Olympics today. I didn't know that's what was happening, but I'm here for it. But you're skating on thin ice.
Oh,
just
everyone else sounds pretty bad, right?
Don't you dare! Don't turn this audience against me, as if they could turn it even further. All right. Anything else on the Olympics?
I feel like all the news was USA updates and Canada cheating, USA, so we sound like just regular Americans right now. Fuck. Jamaica, they had their bobsled team in.
Ooh, right.
I don't know how they
baby.
did, but a lot of people are cheering it. They're like, if you're cheering for it, you know why. Cool runnings, but
right. And they didn't win in the movie. Spoiler alert. Right?
No, they did not.
Like the whole point was just persevering and being the first to go. So I think that fits. They don't need to win the gold. It would be awesome for them to win the gold, but can't win them all, as they say. Just like this segue to where I'm going to say, Nate, do you have any ins and outs for the weeks? And I already know the answer, but I'm going to ask you anyway.
I do not. Surprise.
What? Shocking. I need the shocking sound. Hold on. Let me do a mic drop here. Shocking.
But Todd, I bet you have some in and outs for everyone.
God damn it. Nate's sick and he's pushing me along here. All right, now let me see what my ins and outs are for this week. The ins and outs. We'll start with the ins, shall we? In Mark Ruffalo, Zach Woods, Pedro Pascal, and all the celebrities that are willing to alienate chunks of their audience to like use their voice and platform to be like, you know, the fuck ICE, fuck Trump, like standing up for transgender rights, all this stuff. Like they're on the right side of history, but I always see them. They've always been real ones where from the very beginning, Mark Ruffalo was just like, dude, he doesn't give a shit. He still gets great roles and stuff. So he's, you know, it shows that you can still work with people that aren't assholes and won't, you know, blacklist you in Hollywood. But
I was going to say,
just
Jack
these guys
Black is also one that he goes and walks during the protests and stuff like that too.
True. That's true. Yeah. I just kind of put together like a quick list off the top of my head, but I know Mark Ruffalo is always like a main one. Like he's very smart, dude. This dude is intelligent as hell and is just not afraid to bring that up and wear the pins and just be like, dude, this is what's going on. I know I'm a celebrity, but hey, man, if Kid Rock can have his little special halftime show and talk, then and so can any other celebrity. Okay, go watch the workout video with him and RFK Jr. Fucking cringe ass motherfuckers. Dude.
So bad.
Have you seen the videos going through of that fucking idiot? What, Lee Bryce? I want to kiss my fish. Oh, sorry, catch my fish. Drink my beer. It's like everybody's like, you can do all those things.
Well, that was also everyone is comparing that to Bo Burnham's country song.
Go listen to Bo Burnham's parody of a country song, and it is Lee Bryce or whatever his song. It's fucking cringe. Anyway, that's technically out. We'll add that as like an amendum. But the real out on my list is kind of a sad one, but it's Darren Aronofsky. Do you know why?
I don't.
Okay. Darren Aronofsky, who is one of my favorite directors. You know of him. He's done, he's great. Like he's known for his artistry and his like risk taking. He did Requiem for a Dream. He did The Fountain. He did like the Wrestler and I think Mother and stuff like that. He also did Postcard from Earth at the Las Vegas Sphere, which we saw. He has gotten flamed to shit because he created an entire film using AI. And it's completely garbage, and he's just leaned all the way in, and that is the complete opposite of a director like that, and it hurts my soul. If I had one, it would be on fire right now. Okay. How do you feel about that?
Really,
I need a live reaction.
That really hurts as far as like you go from a director that's supposed to be, hey, let's make this like the visuals that he had when we saw Postcard to Earth actually at the Sphere and like how down to earth and like real the story was to all of a sudden, I'm just going to use AI and phone in everything now. Just, that's so fucked.
And the clips they've shown, it's like on a pirate ship or something, or like an old colonial ship, whatever. It's trash. It's so bad. And it's just, what a slap in the face to the real actors and stuff and crews that have worked with him. But
yeah.
Anyway, sorry for the bad in and out, but that is the ins and outs of Todd's week.
He's done it. He's kept it alive.
I'm trying, you know. Someone's got to do it. One of these days, listeners, Nate will have an in and out, and it's going to surprise me, and I will be delighted.
All right,
today,
in and out is my belly's an innie, Todd's belly button is an outie. All right, we did it.
I actually have to look. It's an innie.
Shit.
But I appreciate the effort. Okay. What does that bring us to? Should we jump into the big old movie review, the point of this episode?
Yeah. This will take us in to 2011's Crazy Stupid Love.
Hey, I think I stopped talking long enough for you to get chunks of that out.
Yeah. So Crazy Stupid Love.
Do you have initial thoughts around the movie or any personal connection with it or why you chose it?
It's just, I feel like it's a good time. It's Steve Carell being Steve Carell, and just having the chaos in this movie works really well. Like the story's coming together.
Yeah, I could see that. I remember when it came out. I remember seeing this in the theaters, and I think mainly because of the cast. Right, I didn't think I fell in love with the story or the trailer necessarily, but it's a stacked cast. So yeah,
it is.
But yeah, I own it. Got to watch it on my old DVD. So it's nice and simple and convenient.
That's fancy.
Yeah, in quotes.
So yeah, the movie came out in 2011. It was directed by Glenn Ficarra and John Requay.
However you want to pronounce them. Yep.
Pronouncing that correctly. Background on the movie: a middle-aged husband. Life changes dramatically when his wife asks him for a divorce. He seeks to rediscover his manhood with the help of a newfound friend, Jacob, learning to pick up girls at bars.
And that is a very watered down synopsis because there's like 3 plots in this movie, but that is the crux of the story.
Yeah. So this movie stars Steve Carell as Cal, Ryan Gosling as Jacob, Julianne Moore as Emily, Emma Stone as Hannah, Leo Tipton as Jessica, Jonah Bobo as Robbie, Joey King as Molly, Marissa Tomei as Kate, Beth Littleford as Claire, John Carroll Lynch as Bernie, and then Kevin Bacon as David Lindhagen.
Again, stacked cast. Steve Carell, Ryan Gosling, obviously they basically sold the movie, but Julianne Moore is a fucking powerhouse. Emma Stone, another powerhouse. This is still at the beginning of her career. And Leo Tipton, which I've only seen in like a couple other things, maybe. But she used to be a model, which you're like, oh yeah, she's kind of got she's got that model like vibe to her.
A model and a figure skater.
Oh, damn, Nate did his research. Shit. Got competition. And you really hesitated on Jonah Bobo, but I don't. He went off to. He quit. I think acting, right? Like he does other stuff now. I think he's just out there living fucking life, man. Yeah. Oh, I did see his bio said he was like 28 or 29. Like no one's quite sure. How do you keep that secret? That's what I want to know.
That's great.
Yeah, I'm like 29 or 30 over here. So, and then obviously Joey King, when she was just a little wee girl, she is in Zach Braff's independent movie. That's where I first really saw her, like as an actress, I guess. And that was in Wish You Were Here. But she's been in all sorts of other things since then. And then, come on, there's aside from the obvious Kevin Bacon and stuff, Marissa Tomei.
Yep.
Come on. I mean, but yeah, spoiler alert.
So yeah, movie starts off with Emily and Cal eating dinner. Very simple dinner date, nothing crazy until Emily just drops the bomb of, I want a divorce.
Which is, man, I love Julianne Moore, but I hate her in this movie.
Yeah.
I don't think she has any redeeming qualities in this movie.
Yeah, no, that's fair. There's no good progress with her at all. No reason of.
What's her arc?
Yeah.
What does she do that's different from scene 1 to the end? I don't know what she does. She realizes
that she lost her love, and that's it.
She lost her. She cheated. And that's what we find out. Like,
yeah,
she wants a divorce, right? So yes, to start it, she really buries the lead when she's like, "I want a divorce," but then we get in the car ride and. Steve Carell, I always get them confused, jumps out of the car because he's like, stop talking, because she keeps discussing that she slept with the name we hear throughout the movie. And who's that, Nate?
It's the only person that has a first and last name, David Lindhagen.
Yes, and they love to use it. It's a great like running thing of just, you're David Lindhagen? Okay. But yeah, the thing is, like, they were married for 25 years. And then she cheats on him with her coworker, the accountant, and then she tries to make it his fault.
Yeah,
like it turns into he has to earn her back.
Yeah, which is weird because like it doesn't show anything of like. I think if they would have showed her more, if she was making an effort, like maybe they start off the movie as like she made the effort for this date and certain stuff like that, where he was just kind of droning on, not doing anything. Then okay, you could see that side, but. Sadly, they didn't do anything as far as that goes for her character.
Yeah, there's no like time lapse or montage of him being a shitty husband. For all intents and purposes, he's fantastic, apparently.
Yeah.
And you know what? I mean, guys, watch the movie if you haven't. Spoiler alert, okay? But the only thing he does differently is wear better clothes.
Yeah, that's the only thing that changes.
His personality does not change. He might get a little more confident hitting on random chicks, but that's it. And even then, it's not even that great.
Yeah. So yeah, then from there, they're on their date. So it cuts to their kids and all that in a sense of they're being babysat. And this is where Jessica walks in on Robbie.
Jerking it.
Thank you. That's what I was going to say.
You hesitated too long. I had to throw it in there. Then he admits it's about her. With bold move, bro. Bold move.
It is a bold move.
He's a fine line between creepy and grand gestures.
Yes, there is a point of, I get the grand gestures, but during this movie, he comes off creepy because there is a point where Jessica is like, all right, you're creeping me out. You need to stop. But he still continues with it. And so that's where it definitely gets a little bit too much.
Yep. So yeah, then that's basically what I kind of broke it down to was that's Steve Carell, plot A, which we haven't got to his second half of his kind of plot, right? Which is Ryan Gosling. But plot B is technically Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling. And then plot C is Robbie and Jessica. But I think Robbie and Jessica, for the screen time they get, are plot B.
Yeah, they get a lot.
But we'll jump into that. I'll give you a little tidbit here in just a little bit. But yeah, so then we jump to Emma Stone. She's a lawyer, right? And this is, I think, Josh Groban of all people is cast as her boyfriend. Which he seems like a nice guy, just likes his work too much, I guess. Like, there's not really anything. He didn't cheat on her or do anything bad, as far as I recall.
I guess he doesn't do any of those grand gestures.
Right. He does eventually ask her to be partners, which is fucking huge. And I don't mean partners as in boyfriend, girlfriend. I mean legal partners, like in a law firm, I think. Like, that's huge. That's so much money. But anyway, she's there with her girlfriend, and we kind of get a montage of Gosling, just the ladies' man. It's Gosling, so dude, he can get away with it anyway. But he's like confident as hell. He's got the nice suit on. He's just manicured to hell, right? And he's just picking up every chick night after night after night after night. And he runs the line between. It is. I mean, in my opinion, but he's like difference. He's like a fine line between douche and hunk. But yeah, I don't know. It's
okay. I mean, this may jump ahead a little bit in the movie because there is the montage of him picking up girl after girl after girl, kind of Mr. Miyagi Cal.
Right.
And he picks up all those girls, but then he gets one check, and it was like, I can't remember how much that check was for all those drinks that night. And I was like, there's no way that's from one night of drinking. And he's like, met all those girls in that one night is how it kind of depicts. Or he had a tab.
No, I think what the movie wants you to believe is that he is buying drinks for all those women until it works on one of them to take them home. I think it's just a numbers game. But even then
he sucks. If he's bought like $700 worth of drinks and only one of those girls.
This bar is out of Hollywood fantasy. This bar is insane. It's every hot chick and dude in the entire existence of this world is in that bar every single night. They're dressed to the nines. They're all down for one night stands every single night. They're all just ready for the cheesiest pickup lines. They don't care how cocky or somebody is. And again, it's Ryan Gosling, so if he's above 6 foot, it doesn't really matter, right? But like he just gets away with pussy murder. Mom, turn off the pod all the time. And this bar is just so populated by just the like the most beautiful people that are willing to just fill out this like fantasy of this like sad sack Steve Carell and the nice hot guy Ryan Gosling. But which again, we're getting ahead of ourselves here, but
yeah, pretty much, he meets multiple countless hotless people that are always willing for a one night stand, except for the first time Jacob meets Emily Stone's character Hannah, she turns him down.
It's true. Did you say Emily? Are you using her proper name?
Emily Stone? Or wait, did I?
It's Emma, but isn't her actual name
Stone.
Emily? And she's been in interviews saying how she likes being called Emily. Well, her stage name is Emma.
I don't know.
You did say Emily, but we'll keep going with Emma.
Yep.
Unless she hates us. Right in, Emma. Emily.
So yeah, pretty much that's kind of the first interaction between Jacob and Hannah is at the bar. She turns him down. He tries all of his little moves and sticks. Nothing works on her.
Which is what attracts him to her. She's the one he can't have, right?
Yep.
And she's like, I don't give a shit about your little things. But apparently she did, and she internalized that for quite a while. But she does to only care about getting back to work, and she loves apparently Josh Groban. She didn't even come up to her to like cheat on her thing.
Yep.
But there's no real again, Julianne Moore is the only scandalous subplot in terms of like actual infidelity.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's, I mean, that, well, so, okay. How did Steve Carell and Gosling meet, right? He's in the divorce. Steve Carell has to move into this shitty little apartment while Julianne, who did the cheating, gets to keep the giant house, whatever. That's not addressed, but he moves into this small apartment and then just starts going to the bar to drink by himself. And then Gosling, who's just, we see the montage of him picking up chicks every night, gets really like invested in this guy who just keeps telling the same story about being cheated on with David Lindhog. And he's like, we all know that name. Why would I know such a personal detail about your life?
Or he's like, did your wife sleep with David Lindhagen too? Like, he just stopped him before he even said the name.
Real quick though, on the Gosling thing, I don't want to like harp on it too much, but I think now's the time since we're introducing his character. He is a trust fund kid. He doesn't have a job.
100%.
He doesn't have hobbies. We did About a Boy in the first run of this. He's very much the Hugh Grant character where he doesn't need a job. He just picks up the guitar and purchases items. And that's like his personality, is just what he does day to day without having responsibility. And that is Gosling. But again, we don't ever address that. This movie doesn't hold him accountable for that or make him be a better person. The only thing really makes him a better person is that Emma Stone ends up liking him. And he's like, I'm going to settle for her. Like, not settle, but like, I'm not going to go and be a party boy. I want to be with her. So that's his growth, is falling in love. But anyway, guys, so if you haven't watched this movie, stop and watch it now, because we are giving you everything right now. But anywho, so anyway, there was a really funny quote I wrote down, and it's when Steve Carell goes to the office for the first time after he has started the divorce, right? And the coworker comes in and says, Amy heard you crying in the bathroom. We all thought it was cancer. It's just a divorce. And it's like, he even yells that to the office. And I was like, that made me laugh pretty good, where they're like so relieved it was only a divorce. And they thought it was just something actually bad. And it's like, well, for him, it's life ruining, right?
Yeah. It was a great scene of like, the delivery, just, oh God, you're not dying. It's just a divorce. You'll be fine. But still, it's like, fuck, man. It's still something you don't fucking say, yeah, it's just fine. Great. Like,
you don't just shrug that off. Yeah. You need there was no sympathy for him whatsoever. I don't think by really anybody. Maybe the friend, Bernie, the babysitter's father, does go to the bar and gives him a breakup cologne, which that's interesting. I think everybody should get gifts when somebody's getting broken up with. A friend breakup, I should say. Yeah,
because pretty much it was decided that they would side with Emily rather than Cal.
Well, and Bernie said, I chose you, but she said no. And so I have to give you this.
So pretty much after Cal and Jacob meet at the bar, that's kind of when Cal puts his faith in Jacob and goes on a shopping spree with him. And this is where they get the whole new wardrobe look and everything. And for him just be like, all right, just spend all this money on new wardrobe. Fucking insane.
Yeah. And again, that's all they change is the wardrobe. And I think maybe he gets a tan, right? To start it, he would get like that classic montage from like classic movies, whatever. But he throws Steve Carell's shoes over the balcony at the mall. And you hear somebody go like, ah! And he's like, what the hell, man? You could have hurt somebody. Again, Ryan Gosling, he's kind of like Nick Cage in the last movie. He's just a rich douche for the first half of this movie.
And that's the thing, too, is like, he has so much money, but he doesn't offer to help buy anything. He just, nope, it's your money.
He makes Cal.
Yeah. And the constant, you know what? Here we go. Let's go buy some stuff, and slaps him in the face constantly.
Yeah, he's very belittling to Cal. And he also thinks that drinking from a straw is emasculating. It makes you look like you're sucking on a schwanz, which is not true for the record. I remember hearing that when I was younger and being like, oh, sucking from a straw is it's gay, whatever. And I was like, and that like internalizes in you, and you're like, well, should I not drink from a straw? It doesn't matter. But this movie still like populated that at his ripe age, which they're both, I'd imagine Gosling is supposed to be in his 20s and Carell's in his 30s at this point.
Yeah.
To still be thinking like that is insanity. But we get the montage, and now he looks great. Fun fact, if anybody that has seen Pluribus, I'll just say the name Zosha. They are one of the chicks that Ryan Gosling picks up at the bar. So, little thing for you there.
So that's right over my head.
Yep. That's why I didn't spoil anything else.
But yeah, then from there, pretty much, Jacob starts to show Cal the ways. And this is where he Mr. Miyagi's Cal. It's pretty much an entire montage of at the bars of Jacob being a pickup artist, but like that very cliche bad pickup artist of like, oh, I'm going to tell him like a really bad, insult, but somehow it's still kind of nice and misleading. And, the stuff that you think works, but it doesn't work, right, Todd?
I wouldn't know. I'm not great at the pickup artist stuff, but I did write down what you said in that he is the pickup artist. What is his name? Mystery, Dream, whatever the hell that show was.
Yeah, Mystery, I think it was.
Was it Mystery? He does the negging as you described, where you basically knock a woman's like ego down, or you say something mean about her, and then she just gets smitten with you and wants to go home and sleep with you. Again, you only get away with that if you look like Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, well, yeah, because there's also that line where Emily, he's fucking photoshopped, pretty much was her line.
Yeah, that's like a trailer line, I think.
Yeah,
is the big thing on that one. Yeah, man. So also while this is going on, we do get Robbie and Jessica's more of him creeping on her, the grand gestures, so to speak, where he just keeps just doing these big ask outs, right? And he even, you guys hear that purring? You guys hear that? There's a sin in the mix here. Oh, yep, right up the mic. Yep, she got it. I saw her for a brief second, audience. You're missing out over here. We need to start doing these videos, right, Nate?
Yeah, get the makeup artist on it. Here we go.
Yeah. If anybody wants to buy some makeup artist and studio lights and everything, we'll do this on video. But anyway, what was I going at here? Oh, Robbie and Jessica, and there's a moment where Robbie is, I don't know, what is he? He gets sad because Jessica says that she doesn't want him. Is that when she's pretty much saying like, oh, else?
She's older, and then she's also in love with an older guy or whatever, and pretty much she's sad about it. But then they go to school the next day, where the topic in school is dealing with the Scarlet A. What is that? Is that
the Scarlet Letter? Where you wear the
A? Yeah, where you wear the A, and
which Emma Stone is in the movie The Scarlet Letter.
Yep.
Or it's called Easy A, but it's about
Easy
the Scarlet
Letter.
Shit, this is all confusing.
But yeah, he's in school. I think it's through text messages where he gets disappointed. And then the teacher's like, hey, what's going on? You want to share that with the class? And he's like, oh, you want to talk about the Scarlet Letter? Well, I think A stands for assholes, because love is just a bunch of assholes loving assholes, and assholes says assholes a shit ton, to where he has to go to the principal's office and Emily has to pick him up from school. So from there, Emily picks him.
No, I don't want to. Listeners, I don't want to cut Nate off. I don't want to, guys. To be nice, okay? I don't want to. But I will say this. I'm just to help put into context. Like, this is where the web of this movie starts to get put in place, right? Because Marissa Tomei is his teacher, and Julianne Moore is dating David Lindhagen, right? But Jessica, the babysitter, is in love with Cal, Steve Carell's character. Yep. And we know all of this behind the scenes. Like, we know all that. The movie has told us all this information. So we know when Jessica talks to Robbie that, hey, it's because I'm in love with an older man. It is actually his own father. And so this little web keeps going, right? And obviously his best friend, Cal's best friend, was Bernie from the bar. And so they're like, everybody's kind of intertwining now. And then there's the big reveal. I don't know, should we share it or leave it for the listeners to find out?
I mean, we'll
big
probably
twist at
reveal
the
it.
end there. Okay, yeah, just hold on. I don't think, if you guys care, fast forward. All
right. So yeah, pretty much Emily picks up Robbie from school, and Robbie's at her office where he's kind of first introduced to David Lindhagen.
Yep.
That's kind of also our first introduction to David Lindhagen, because he's at the copy machine with Emily. And so he's trying to like, oh, I want to go on another date, trying to hook up. She's really not into it. And then when she goes back to her office, she goes to grab something else, leaves Robbie there. And David Lindhagen's kind of like walking by and is like, yeah, I could be a father figure. Let me walk in. Let me see if I can talk to Robbie.
God, dude.
And this is where Robbie just pretty much belittles David Lynn, like just undermines him by like, oh yeah, you want to talk, David? All right, let me go ahead and raise my chair up so I'm sitting higher than you, and then just introduce myself. Be like, oh, so you're the David Lindhagen that is kind of breaking up my parents' marriage.
Yep. Well, he lifts that chair up far higher than any chair has ever lifted up before. This thing went above the top of the desk, but it is funny, like him getting a high look down on him just to like read him to filth on this. And it's like, what did David Lindhagen really think he was going to do with this information? Like Kevin Bacon plays this really well, just kind of like the dopey but like attractive kind of guy that is the homewrecker, right? But thinks he's like going to be the stepdad or something. It's very, I don't know, he plays that character really well.
Yeah. So yeah, pretty much from there it goes to
and before they leave that scene, what I thought was really funny, I wrote this down, was he's trying to give advice or like therapy to his mother because he's a really good son, right? And he's like, I Googled mom crying in bed. And she said, oh, what did you get? And he said, some really weird videos. And she's like, oh shit. And she's like, do those parental controls even work? And he says, they work for me. I was like, my man. Dude's watching MILF videos, which Julian Moore is disturbed by, but they have a good relationship. Like they laugh and joke about him calling everybody an asshole in school and stuff. Like it's really great.
Yeah, no, it's one of those where Robbie has a good relationship with his parents. That's well shown.
Yeah.
The daughter, not
doesn't exist.
Yeah. It's just, it's weird. You don't hear anything or see anything with her. It's just a short bit of like, oh, she's just another kid for the babysitter.
Yeah. Why even have her in the cast?
Yeah, no, it was weird.
But yeah. And so then we jump to back on some of Steve Carell learning how to be Rico Suave. He's starting to use the lines and fail, but then keep getting better in the bar.
Yeah, this is where kind of Jacob says, yeah, Cal's ready to pick up women at the bar. And then the first like lady that he kind of like goes up to that really works in a sense is Robbie's teacher, but also we find out she's a recovering alcoholic.
She is.
Because Jacob's thing is like, remember, always buy him a drink first, no matter what. And he goes up and he's like, yeah, let me buy you a drink. What do you want? Gin and tonic? No, I don't drink anymore. Oh, sure. We'll take another gin tonic. I'm in recovery. Nope. Go away to the waitress. Don't even ever come back. Just go away.
It's great comedic timing from Carell. Like very good.
And this is where you kind of state he doesn't change as a person because he goes through all of Jacob's lines of, oh, let me neg you. Let me, buy you a drink, all that stuff. And it's not working because the other part is just have the women talk about themselves. Don't show anything about who you are, any vulnerability. Just put the focus on the lady until she's like, this isn't working for me, to where he breaks down. He's like, okay, listen, I have 2 kids. I'm going through a divorce. And like, he's very honest about everything to where she's like, oh, really? I'm interested now.
Yeah. And none of the classic lines from Gosling work on Marissa Tomei's character, but they eventually start working on everybody else. But it also shows the dichotomy between someone that looks like Gosling and someone that looks like Carell. And Carell's not an ugly man, but he's not Ryan Gosling, right? So the same lines don't work for Carell. He has to shift them a little bit. And eventually the cliche ones start to, because he's got all this confidence. And again, he's dressed to the nines and blah, blah, blah. But it kind of shows you that like, if you neg somebody and you're not like super attractive, they're just going to think you're a creepy piece of shit. But if Gosling does it, they're like, well, I don't care. I want to sleep with him. So it's like, you got to put yourself in the state of mind of this, like this bar at 10 PM and everybody's out there. Apparently everybody's at a bar single and drinking their asses off. But yeah, he runs into Tomei and she's the anti-homewrecker. If Lindhagen is the homewrecker, she's the anti.
Yep.
And then they go home.
Yep. So he goes home, and this is also the second ever women that Cal has slept with.
Yep, it is. He's been faithful through the whole 25 years.
And then
or
after the
longer.
Yeah. After the one night stand, she's like, oh, you're going to text me and all that. And he's like, yep, sure. Never text. But then it goes on to a montage of him hooking up with all these other ladies.
Yes, and that's where we start to see kind of like the second act of the movie start to take shape, right? Because it's like everything, you've had the inciting incident, everything is now shifting, you've got momentum, but you're starting to see, you don't want Cal to turn into Jacob, to Gosling's character. You want him to be the guy he's always been, because he's like, again, super nice, and we start to see this as he gets a dream one night of David Lindhagen mowing the lawn for his ex-wife, right?
Yeah.
But he's like obsessed with keeping the lawn nice. And so in the middle of the night, Steve Carell jumps the fence into the backyard and manicures it, aerates it with his, like, for hours. These people should have been murdered 1,000 times. The fact that they did not know he was using a hose, like he was doing everything. They had no idea he was in their backyard for probably multiple nights, I would have to assume. But yeah, he's such a nice guy. He's trying to like do the romantic thing and keep her yard looking nice.
Yeah. And then later in another scene, we get now Jessica in school where she's asking one of her classmates, God, they pick up older men.
Yeah.
And so it's just like a weird like throw in, and it's just you all of a sudden assume, okay, this girl hooks up with older dudes, and that's just her character, and that's all she's known as. So this classmate tells Jess to take photos of herself or try to make sure he sees you in a sexual way rather than just a younger kid.
Yeah.
And that's where we get Jessica taking photos of herself.
That's a no-win scenario for everybody involved in this. I will say I cringed so bad when she said, "Can you keep a secret?" And the classmate goes, "Art." And I was like, that pissed me off to no end watching that. And she's like, "What?" And she's like, "My lips are seals." And I was like, "Oh my God." She didn't even say sealed. And I was like, it drove me insane. That's not even the point of that entire moment, but my God, I hated that character. But yes, anyway, she takes the photos, and it's really awkward and cringy to watch, right? Yeah. But she does it, and she basically writes a note to, like, with Cal's name on the front. So we know there's a smoking gun, basically. This thing exists in the world, and eventually we have to see the fruition of this, like, in public, right? But
and then still while we're at school, this is where we also get Robbie now confessing his love to Jessica in front of everyone, where he's wearing a scarlet J instead of the A. And this is where she has to pull him down, and this is where she tells him, "Hey, you're being creepy. You need to stop this. This is not fun. This is fucking creepy." And totally side on Jessica's side here of, this is way too much right now. I need to put a restraining order or something.
Yeah, absolutely. This was like in the school quad. Everybody was watching.
Yep.
And he's asked her out in front of people before, so everybody knows he will not stop. Everybody's seen it. And then he does he builds like a thing out there in front of her and has like balloons or whatever. Like everything's going. And it's just like, dude, man, there's grand gestures. Yeah. And then there's, I don't know, secondhand embarrassment gestures. And that might be even a level above that. Then we also have Cal and Emily going to Robbie's school for parent-teacher night, right? We've all been through those. Unless we got some homeschoolers, then it was you and your own mother and father discussing your activities. But I know some homeschoolers. How
that works now.
Yeah, I don't know.
What is
I've never asked them.
Like
evaluations, be like, "How's your home life?" I don't know. You tell me. But there's a whole, this is where you kind of get like the big romantic like comeuppance, right? This is where it all comes to a peak as well, where Cal and Emily go into the classroom, and of course it's Marissa Tomei, and she's an insane person in this moment. She writes asshole, and she's like, this isn't Julianne Mower's like, I'm starting to think this isn't about Robbie. And Steve Carell's like, oh boy, right? And he even says like, well, she's an alcoholic, and he's being a douchebag, right? But Marissa Tomei had a one-night stand. She is acting way too big for this one moment she had, like as if she was with her soulmate and he completely destroyed her life.
I think the only thing that she's freaking out because she probably just sees Cal and Emily there together as parents, as he introduces her. "Oh, this is my wife." And she's like, "You said you weren't with your wife," or anything like that. So I think that's where she's coming from rather than just a one night stand soulmate thing.
Lying.
It was more of a, okay, fuck you. You lied to sleep with me. And this is the reason that you're lying in a sense. So I think that's where she's coming from.
That's fair. I can see that. She is larger than life in that scene, but she is mad because probably another dude is lying to get in her pants once again. And that's like, yeah, that is a problem. That is a problem. Listeners, I'm not on the side of Steve Carell, especially when she says she went downtown on him for 45 minutes. Are you serious? Holy shit. He's got to be walking funny. That thing is chafed. I don't know what's going on, and she should have lockjaw. Mother, I swear to God, if you're still listening, I'm going to be furious. But, like, that's insane. But she's also, I will say, Marissa Tomei was acting so loud and yelling asshole down the hallway that she's willing to risk her career over this.
100%. Yeah.
That's maybe what I think was going a little too far, is where it's like, dude, don't yell in front of all the other parents and your principal and like stuff. But anyway, so then they have like a big conversation out at the car, right? And this is like, I should have fought for you. It's like, dude, she cheated on you. Like, I don't know what to tell you, man.
This is where it just doesn't make any sense too, because she also looks at him like, oh, you slept with someone?
Yes.
And makes him the bad guy. And you're like, what the fuck? Why is he the bad guy when you had an affair and then you guys went separate ways where he didn't even live in your house together anymore? It just, that's one thing that blew my mind.
Absolutely hypocritical. I was raging at the screen because I was like, I forgot how much of a hypocrite she was to that. She even says to him, who are you? You go fuck yourself, Julianne Moore. You gotta be kidding. Like, that, he is a dude, that you divorced because you cheated with David Lindhagen. What do you, you have no high horse. Was she acting like it? And, anyway. Do you know what we get to next, Nate? What happens, and this, I alluded to this earlier, why this should not be the B plot of this movie, but it was marketed as such. This
is where, go ahead.
No, go for it. I didn't know if you had actually guessed.
Is it like the Hannah passes her bar and all that?
Yes. This is where we get back to Hannah and Jacob. This plot line starts an hour into the 2-hour movie. I looked at it. Yeah. We don't get the main plot that was marketed until this point in the movie. We haven't seen these people interact. We haven't seen Hannah since she got hit on by Gosling. Like, it's crazy how little we get of these people.
The only snippets you get is her friend in the bar saying, hot guy from the bar is here. And that's it. Yep.
But you do get to see Gosling, obviously, with Carell. But otherwise, Emma Stone is gone from this movie for the first, hour.
Yeah. So, pretty much Hannah passes her bar. They're back at that restaurant or whatever. And this is where her boyfriend is like, I want to make you partner. And that's where she freaks out because she's expecting the proposal to be married to and everything. Granted, I can't, what they were together 6 years or something like that? 5?
Something like that, yeah.
So it was a long time. I guess it's a matter of what the rest of the conversation was, how he was as a person. Because I know there was the earlier dinner that they had where he was just on his phone the entire time. So I don't know if that's also depicting him trying to not listen or talk or be in the moment.
Maybe, but again, this movie doesn't give you any of that, so you're guessing that he's a bad guy. He doesn't seem like he just might be obsessed with his work is the only thing we might understand about this guy. But otherwise, he seems totally nice, and he's totally taken aback when she's mad that he didn't propose. It's like, have you talked about it? Is he cheating on you? She's just like her mother.
Yeah.
Okay. She's taking the high road when I don't know if there's a low road that she was not part of.
Yeah. So either way, she cuts it off there and she goes to the bar to meet Jacob. Jacob's in the process of trying to pick up another girl where Emily just shows up, or not Emily, Hannah shows up and just gives him a kiss.
It's very romantic. It is a sexy, because she came in from the rain, right? And so her hair's all wet. And she's like, you still want me? Yes. Do you want to go home with me? Yes. And kiss. And then there's a clip, a real quick clip of her getting lowered back down to the floor. It's very, I don't know. It's a powerful shot. And just in a romantic sense, it's very oh shit, this is a smitten kind of moment. And it's very, I don't know. And then of course, they get back to his $1 billion bachelor pad.
Yeah. pretty much she's sitting there mixing some drinks, putting on a nice vinyl record. He brings back both drinks, gives her one, she chugs it, takes his drink, chugs it, and then the conversation kind of goes like, oh, how does it work? You know, how do you hook up and what happens? And he's like, well, I do the move from Dirty Dancing. She's like, what move? She's, you know, the lift. And she's like, does that work? He's like, yeah, it works all the time. And so pretty much from there, they do the move. He does the lift in Ryan Gosling fashion. It looks great.
Yep.
Just, yeah, good for him.
Good for him for existing. Thanks to his parents for having good genes they passed down to him.
And after that, they end up in the bedroom where instead of actually hooking up, they end up talking. And this is where he lets his walls down and she's actually asking questions about him and he's answering it. And it's more of an actual, connection than just a hookup.
Yeah, he doesn't get laid. They don't have sex that night. She actually, she asks about the mother and find out the father passed, and that's obviously why he has this money. There's one moment where she goes and sits in the garage with the massage chair. It's real funny. Like, it kind of bounces around. I will say this reminded me of an earlier part where, because Gosling is such a player and everybody in the bar is so ready to go home, that at one point Marissa Tomei during their hookup says, what else? Be honest. And he says, I'm a little worried you have AIDS. I was like, yeah, man. Ryan Gosling must be really good with protection because, dude, he has slept with like 100 women in this movie. Anyway, that was never brought up. I assume Emma Stone's character was, ready for that. But it was otherwise. Sorry to derail that, but it's very sweet. Like, you get them just all night talking, and he falls asleep first, right? And she's kind of like the one in power in this situation for once.
Yep. This is where everything kind of starts to continue on. Cal tries to get a hold of Jacob. Can't get a hold of him anymore. He's not going to the bars. He's not showing up. He's in love.
You're supposed to be rebuilding this character, and all of a sudden Gosling's ditching the guy calling him all the time? What the fuck?
Yep. And this is where we also, Emily and David go on a date. David Lindhagen. Sorry, how dare I not use the full name?
Yeah, how dare you? But she even said she's not interested in him that way, and then she goes on the date. Again, you're also supposed to be rebuilding this character as well, and you're submarining her again by making her dive even deeper into the thing that ruined her marriage. So I don't know what the choice was there, but yeah. And this is where she gets back from the date, which is a really funny scene.
And it's, sure enough, it's Jessica being the babysitter she's kind of going back and forth between both of them as the babysitter. But either way, Emily tries to pay Jessica, and Jessica's like, oh, I don't want your slutty money.
Yeah, because she knows. Well, she catches David dropping her off at the front door. David Lindhagen at the front door. And it's like, she, of course, if she's in love with the husband and she sees that the wife's being a slutty, apparently, right, to use her words, she's like really upset by that. She's like personally offended. And I think that's the end of that babysitting relationship. I don't think you get to yell at the mom like that and move along. By the way, she doesn't get a ride home, but every other time they have to drive her home. Where does this babysitter live that they are driving for what looks like 15 minutes?
It's the forest from The Navigator. Flight of the Navigator.
Yes, you're right. How far away does everything exist in this world? And it's South Harmon inside of that world. How far away is this college? Everything is next door and yet across an entire city.
Shit, we did it. We've connected our movies. This is great. This is better than anticipated.
Yeah, hold on. I'm going to get my whiteboard out on the back and put some red string connecting the movies and distance relations within them.
That night we also get a call where Cal is in the backyard. He's doing his trimmings and upkeeping the yard, and Emily calls him to ask about the water heater. And he knows it's bullshit because he can see in the window that there's nothing wrong with the water heater. She just wanted to call and talk. Yeah,
he basically walks her through relighting the pilot light, right? And it's, dude, it is very sweet. Like, I think this is a standout scene and kind of makes the movie. This like regrounds you. And like, as much as this is crazy and stupid, this is the love part. It's very cool. Like, I just like the settings of this, like, this back and forth of like her in the window, and you can see her reacting as if she's like going through the steps, but she's really just wanted to hear his voice. And I gotta give kudos to this scene.
And this is where I think he decides, you know what? I'm going to go, because like he realizes.
No. Nate sees me thinking intensely, but I was going to ask you, do you think he ever told her that he was in the backyard all that time?
Maybe
what is that conversation
after they're back together?
No, that's what I mean though. Like, do you think they ever reveal that? Hey, honey, remember when you were lighting the pilot light? I was watching you through the window.
Maybe not that, but maybe more of just like hey, if you could help out in the yard more, that'd be great, because you didn't do shit while I was gone.
Dude, she better start paying her goddamn cheating dues. I tell you that much. Anyway, sorry, go back on to what you were going with there.
So yeah, I think this is where Cal realizes, okay, she still loves me. I still love her. So this is where he decides to do the big grand gesture. He goes to home improvement store and he buys all this stuff to make a mini golf course.
Yeah.
And
little windmill.
This is where pretty much all the fuckery happens.
Yeah, this is your big finale.
Cal blindfolding Emily to come into the backyard. Well, actually, Robbie is blindfolding Emily to come into the backyard where Cal is at. And from there, she comes in blindfolded. And this is also where we're introduced to Hannah, is actually the daughter of Emily and Cal.
Yep, Emma Stone is the daughter. And so he's been sleeping with the guy he's been training to sleep with women's daughter. Like, it's very scandalous. This was the movie moment where you're like, oh shit, because I don't think we knew that going in. The trailer hadn't revealed any of that, right? It was a shocker for everybody watching. It was like, oh fuck, oh no.
It's weird that they market it, the love story behind of Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone.
Yep.
But then they hide that throughout the entire first part of the movie until the end, because maybe people weren't going to catch it. I don't know.
Yeah, either way, I guess if you interact more, you're going to start to pull at those seams, right? And be like, she probably should have seen Cal at this point or something, right?
Yeah, and then from there, that's where Jacob walks through the door, and Cal's like, what the fuck are you doing here? Mm-hmm. And he's like, what the fuck are you doing? Oh, you guys know each other. And it's just all this fuckery of, oh, you're dating my daughter. No, that's not going to happen. This is where Cal becomes the dad of like, no, I know who you are. That's not fucking going to happen. Break up with him right now.
I've seen too much.
Yeah.
And that says everything. Like, honestly, how would you react?
It's a hard reaction because, you know who he is. You see him as the womanizer, and it's hard because they also have a bond and a friendship too between them. Yeah. But he knows who he is, and so it just makes it really hard of like, no, this is my first child. I can't accept this. Yeah.
And that is it. I think I feel the same way. Like, I don't know if I'd be able to accept him back, or at least, have to give it a lot of time until I realized he had done none of that stuff again for like years and been like, okay, he's truly a completely different person. You have to gauge like how he's treating your daughter, and maybe he's not a cheater. Maybe he's just a player, but he's not a cheater. Right. But to your point, he becomes like the dad figure in this moment. So we kind of get to see that switch happen.
And then during all this, it kind of has like a side story where Jessica's dad finds the photo, or no, it's Jessica's mom who finds the photos, goes downstairs and just hands over the envelope to her dad, who then just pulls them out. No reaction to it, just gets up and is like, all right, I'm going over to Cal's house.
Yep. Basically, he's going there to fucking kill him. And then Jessica's like, no, he doesn't know. Like, he won't accept that. Cal does not know that this is happening.
So while that's all going, then David Lindhagen also shows up at the house before Jessica's dad. And the guy just shows up. Oh, hey, you left your jacket. Hi, I'm David Lindhagen. And Jacob's like, oh, you're David Lindhagen. Just turns his ring and goes over and just punches him right in the face.
Yeah, I love that scene. He's like, boom.
The comment like, you know how much pain you've caused my friend, and just lays him out.
Absolutely, dude. It's great. Like, it's just the from the reveal of that's your daughter. Oh shit. And that's you. Great. To then, the babysitter's dad shows up, and he's almost like Godzilla, rips the windmill putt-putt thing up and starts trying to kill Cal. And then he punches David Lindhagen. And it's chaos in the backyard. All the guys are rolling in on the dirt. Like, because then Steve Carell wants to attack Gosling's character, even though he just protected him, but he's still sleeping with his daughter. So everybody's fighting, and all the women are just kind of standing around being like, oh my God, what's going on? Like, these idiots, right? But I get it. For every single one of the reactions, I get it. Like,
Yeah.
the dad doesn't know that Cal is not involved with his daughter, right? Even though she says it, and Cal's like, I don't know. He's like, at this point, he could think, well, they're just lying. But he has to realize that Cal literally does not know the daughter's in love with him, right? But yeah, so it's chaos until they kind of we cut to the police are there. They've been called.
Yep. And domestic dispute. That's what they write it off as. And
Yeah.
that's where you just get this really good, like, slight laugh from Ryan Gosling, where the police officer's like, let's just keep it in the family, guys.
Yes,
He just is the only one that sees, like, the little bit of humor in it all.
Yeah, absolutely. Smug little asshole about that.
And this is also where it's like shakes up Robbie's faith with his dad, because
Yes.
he finds out that he loves Jessica, but Jessica loves his dad. And so there's always that weird fuckery in there as well.
Yeah, this is the depression tour that we get. We get like a 5 minutes of everybody just being depressed, and
Yeah.
which makes sense. I mean, I guess maybe not Emma Stone's character. Yes, Gosling's just kind of more like trying to. He seems pretty even keel about it, and he's like trying to get her to reconnect and stuff. He's just always. He's never had a problem in his fucking life, so he doesn't even see this as a problem.
No.
But he does want Cal to like him. He really needs
Yes.
that to be the case.
He goes to the bar and all that where,
Yep.
you know, Cal is drowning his sorrows, and he probably pisses off the waitress.
She probably spit on my shot.
Yeah. And so this is where pretty much Jacob's just telling Cal, hey, I love your daughter. I didn't want this to happen, but it happened and I love her. And he also just goes on saying how Cal is a good dad and don't change who you are.
Yeah, it was a very real moment because it didn't do the Hollywood thing where Cal actually tells Gosling, he says, yeah, man, I'll never give you my blessing. Like, I can't. I just won't do it. And so it ends on a sad note. Like, there's no victory in this scene. The scene is just to double down on the fact that lines have been crossed. And then, of course, he drinks the shot. Yep, she spit in it.
And then from there, we get to Robbie's 8th grade graduation.
Yes, we do. I didn't have an 8th grade graduation. Did you?
No, I didn't either. This is where I question. I'm like, there are these more often now, like
Maybe.
kindergarten, 8th grade graduations, whatever. And I even asked myself, what's the point of this? This doesn't make any sense. This is maybe only for movie context to help get people together.
Yes.
But other than that, I don't see any point of 8th grade graduations, kindergarten graduations, 5th grade graduations, whatever it is.
I could see kindergarten because to them it's such a big deal, and it's like you get to celebrate them in some way. After that, I don't see a point, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll give you kindergarten graduation because they don't really know anything besides being celebrated. But yeah, 5th grade, what are you doing? Going into 6th grade, congratulations. I spent my last day of 8th grade in detention, in in-house detention, because we were playing basketball. Somebody made me mad, and I kicked them, and the teacher saw it, and I never got to celebrate. Everybody was eating and food, and there was like a Hawaii theme, I think. I missed the entire last day of 8th grade. But anyway, that's a side story. But yes, we get to 8th grade graduation where Robbie is the salutatorian. How? We don't know he's smart. We don't even know that.
No.
We just know he's creepy.
Yeah. I guess it's kind of picked up on just like a little bit here and there, just only because like he's very in tune of like knowing about the Scarlet Letter, even though he was not even fully there. Like he's like, oh, I know what's going on in class. I just had
That's
other.
fair. Yeah.
So he gives his speech and it's very down and depressing. And this is where Cal has to step in and stop him and pretty much tell him, hey, what are you doing here? Like, this is not the Robbie I know. Robbie believes in grand gestures, and this is really down and just sad for you.
Yeah, he's basically saying, I'm the personification of what you don't want in love, and that's like the bitterness and everybody sucks, and your grand gestures is really what love is all about, right? Like, you need to be that person again because you're the good. He takes it way too far, we've discussed, but he is the idea of good love. Yeah, and Cal's giving this whole speech out of nowhere. Not a single teacher, parent was like, what the fuck are you doing? You're giving a
you get
speech.
one thing in there. It was Marissa Tomei's character of just the and then this quick wave of a middle finger going across.
That's true. Yeah, that personal slight was great of her being like, "Fuck this guy," which we don't even hear from her again. There's no like makeup or "Oh wow, that's great." He's literally like professing his love and how he messed up with his wife at this 8th grade graduation, and no one's like, "Why? What do we care?" But anyway, it does make for a good movie ending.
Yeah. So pretty much after that, they kind of go back after the graduation, meet up, and this is where he kind of is a little more accepting of Jacob.
Yeah.
But he brings back, "Oh, I'm going to slap you now because guess what? You have to listen to me."
Yeah, I really liked how he gave him a good slap, and Gosling just had to kind of shrug it and be like, "Yep, I deserve this." He's like, "I'm going to get many more of these, and I cannot even argue about it."
And then you get Robbie's closing with Jessica, where it's still creepy that he's going after her, but she gives a little bit of laugh with it because his concept behind it is really good. He's like, "You like my dad, and in a few years, I'll look like my dad, so then you'll want to like me, right?"
Yeah. She's like, "That's good logic," or whatever, right? And what does she give him, Nate?
Her nude photos.
I mean, which she's like, "Oh, wow, great." I'd also be like, "You took these from my dad. And also, I think this is still not good." Like, no one wins here. No. I mean, like, she's 17, he's 14, I think, right? 14, 13?
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, in that zone, it's like, this is just, it's a weird subplot. And the fact that he kind of wins in the end and she gives him a kiss on the cheek and walks off, it's like,
yeah,
okay. And then he sees like the mom and dad making up and he kind of does that like 80s, like, look to the camera kind of thing as he walks away. It's a very power move at the end, but
yeah,
there you go.
That's the movie.
So fun facts from this movie that I looked up. It was originally called the Untitled Marital Crisis Comedy. So they didn't have a name. And I did look up the writer, and it was written by Dan Fogelman, who wrote Cars, Bolt, Tangled, all sorts of these like Pixar movies. He says it was written on his real experiences. I would take that with a grain of fucking salt. But I could see some, but not all of this happening to this dude. He did write it with Steve Carell in mind. And he wrote the show Paradise. That was my mom's recommendation on a previous episode, if you recall.
Yeah.
And the original cut was 3 hours long. So there's some quick facts. What do you think they cut out? A 3 hour? I mean, maybe that was Emma and Gosling's subplot. Maybe that actually had way more, and that's why they're only there for the last hour of the movie.
Yeah, maybe it's that. Maybe it's Emily's story of how she fell out of love with Cal.
Yeah. Maybe it's all the backstory we're complaining we didn't get. Maybe it's Josh Groban being an asshole.
Maybe it's David Lindhagen and actually how great of a guy he is.
He seems like a great guy. I mean, even though he cheated with a married woman, that's his, of course, that's not good. But for everything else, he seems like a legit, just nice guy. So I don't know. But anywho, other facts. Emma Stone had a breakdown after being lifted up in that Dirty Dancing scene. And it's actually a body double that is lifted up above the head because she could not do it. She had to go and like lock herself in a room or whatever. And this was fact checked. I fact checked this. She had to go like sit down and watch Labyrinth. Labyrinth was her comfort movie to like calm down. And she was so scared because when she was young, she was in gymnastics and her coach lifted her up. She fell and broke both of her arms.
Oh shit.
And so when she got lifted up again above the 6 feet of Gosling, she panicked. And so they had to body double. So that iconic scene, it's not even Emma Stone doing the final big move, which is probably why her back's turned to us. And then the other fact is that Steve Carell, he hates the title of the film. He says he can't imagine a group of college guys saying 5 tickets to Crazy Stupid Love, please. Like, it's not marketable, and it's not a great movie, Dave, let's be honest, but it doesn't really tie into thematically. It's just kind of like a jumble of words. It's like, yeah, I could align those with different plots of probably any movie. But he preferred the title The Wingman, which I think is way more boring, but he preferred it, but it actually aligns with the movie plots. Yeah. And they actually they say, I don't know, this IMDb, right? Facts. They said that the filmmakers offered a free iPad on set to whoever came up with a title for the film. This is how desperate they were just to name this goddamn thing. Nate, do you have an alternative title for this film?
Gosh, you put me on the spot.
You know what I put it, guys, listeners? I put in the page underlined, if you read this before we record, you have time to think of a title. So he did not, so I need him to react in real time. I gave him a chance.
I guess grand gesture.
Ooh, that's not bad. That's not bad. So, okay, you know what?
What'd you have?
I also... Yep, I have the grand gesture as well. I wrote that down. I'll show it to you later. Yeah, I agree. No, this is not a game for me, all right? We're going with grand gesture, and I actually like that. It's actually, guys, kudos. That's credit where credit's due. That's good. All right, that's my fun fact for the movie. That is Crazy Stupid Love. Go watch it. Enjoy. And next week, Nate, what will we be discussing in regards to Crazy Stupid Love? What are the themes?
The themes next week are babysitters and
modern dating.
Yep.
I answered for you because I didn't know if you remembered. Basically, and put in quotation marks, dating apps. Okay, because that's really what it's going to be about, because modern dating is dating apps. That's going to be my topic. But yes, I'm excited for two wildly different ones, babysitting and the dating apps. So tune in next week for that. Yeah. Anything you want to recommend for the group before we sign off of this bad boy?
Yeah. So past week I went to a concert. And
did you?
Yeah.
Did I know about
local? This? It was a local concert. It was in Fort.
So I didn't.
So it was nice because it was close to home, and it was an early concert, which is even better.
So
concert started at 6, ended at 8:00.
Oh, that's perfect.
Right?
That's, no pun intended, that's music to my ears. Okay.
But either way, it was a local band. It was 2 local bands, and so my recommendation is go check out your local music scene. I always feel like, it's good just to hear your local music and kind of see what's around you rather than always going to what you like, per se.
Like the big headliners at the giant venues, yeah. No, I like a good local concerts. Would you go see these bands again, or was it just kind of like fine? Like, I'm not saying like this kind of, I don't want it to go against your local band, because there's hit and misses on everything. Yeah.
So I guess the headliner of the show was a friend of mine, Post Paradise, and then one of his coworkers, Clementine. They opened up for him, and both good bands. A lot of fun to listen. I would go see him again. They both came out. The opening band very punk rock-ish, and fuck Ice. So love that energy. But yeah,
awesome.
Local music. Yeah. Check it out. And if you do, let me know. I'll listen to it.
Oh yeah, give Nate Rex. Maybe we'll do a music episode. I think we'll do a music episode one of these days. Just to throw everybody off a little bit. Just let us spread our wings a little bit, okay? But no, I've seen Post Paradise with you a couple of times, I believe. Yeah, really good. So cool. My recommendation then is, well, I'll stick with movies, is one of the Oscar nominees called Train Dreams. Don't even worry about the title. I'm still trying to figure out if it's worthy of that title, but it is a good movie. I think if you've already seen like the big ones, right, Begonia, or which I did also see this past weekend, or Sinners, or One Battle After Another. If you've seen like the big ones and you're like, I really do want to check out another one of these, I would watch that one. It is such a palate cleanser, and I don't mean that in like a boring sense. It's a moment in time. It's a beautiful movie. It's got a great little life message in there. I think it's just really well done. I got done. I was like, that was nice. I just enjoyed that movie, even though obviously it's drama. There's, it's not like sunshine and rainbows dancing in front of the screen, but I think it was just a solid one. So if you're going to see an Oscar movie, go see that one.
Okay. I'll put it on the list for maybe next year.
2027. Nate will talk about that. He'll give you a follow-up.
And with that, I guess Todd is pointing at the screen for me to read the script.
Don't give them the secrets. That was me pointing so they wouldn't know. Fuck.
and it went away so quick I couldn't even read it.
Yeah, because you started talking about me. Nate, where can they find us? God damn it.
If you want to follow us, The End is Sci, on Instagram, TikTok, and even YouTube, rank, rate, subscribe, comment, yada, yada.
Yep.
And it went away before I could finish.
The last word was yada, Nate. The last word was yada.
So I needed a third yada. So not 2 yadas, 3 yadas.
But the yadas were more for me, too, not for you to read. Guys. Train dreams. My train is going off the track.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
I'm Ron. He'll read anything. When it goes off the screen, he just goes silent. He freezes. Yes. Go do all that, and you can comment on Spotify. Everything. People have already commented on Spotify, so I do. When I come across them, I'll respond. I don't check this shit religiously, so if it's like 2 weeks or a month later, you're lucky you got a response. And by that means, thank you so much for commenting. We really appreciate it. And then Nate, what else?
Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your loved ones, and tell those you hate.
Yes.
Because if you didn't like us, that's why you tell them.
Yes, if you don't like us, tell them, and then, and honestly, fuck you, okay? But also, thank you. No, yeah, do all those good things. Yeah, we'll be back next week with another one, unless, the end of the world happens. We'll see. But yeah, until then, what do you got for us, Nate?
It's been said before, but I don't want your slutty money.
What if it's like Monopoly money or something from like another game? Like, I don't know, like one with
definitely not Monopoly.
Okay. But what about, I can't even flow that into a sentence. It's fucking Candyland. That's what I'm talking about. All right. Bye, guys and gals.
Goodbye.